Hello soulmates, welcome back again to the channel. Today my name is Jenny. So today's video I'll be showing you guys on how to go about the sewing of this beautiful Milkmaid corset dress, as you can see on the screen. So if this sounds like what you're interested to learn, keep on watching and don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, like and share this video, and also turn on your notification bell so that whenever I post a new video you will be the first to be notified. Thank you to my new and my returning subscribers. So let's get into it, guys. Welcome back again, soulmates. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut out my patterns on my fabric, as you can see on the screen. So on this corset part, which is the curvy part, I added ½ inch at the side, 1.5 inches at the bottom. I added 1 inch stitching allowance to that part. Okay, when I open it up, guys, you can see what it's looking so beautiful. So coming to the back area, guys, I've also gone ahead to add my stitching allowance. So on the zip area, don't add any allowance at the zip area. Okay, so towards the side I added 2 inches, on the bottom part 1 inch, at the top I added ½ inch. Okay, so at the side where I added 2 inches, I'm going to be trimming off ½ inch from that part which is at the side, because I want my stitching allowance to be 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to just trim off this part, as you can see right here. As you can see what I'm doing, so I'm trimming off the ½ inch so that it's going to be 1.5 inches. So guys, coming to the cup area, I've also added my stitching allowance at the cup area. So at the bottom part, guys, I went ahead to add ½ inch, towards the side ½ inch, at the center front 1 inch, then at the top also I added 1 inch because I'm going to be creating my casing for the rope area at this part. Okay, so my rope casing, I'm going to be creating it at the top, and also at the center front I'm going to be folding up that part. So that's why I added 1 inch at the center front and 1 inch at the upper parts. I'll go ahead and cut out my lining. I've gone ahead to cut out my lining, and this is it for the cup. So for the cup lining, I'm going to place it underneath like this, and I'm going to stop stitch it around the cup like this. Okay, so coming to the corset area, I'm sorry for using different lining. This is what I have to work with right now. So I've gone ahead to cut out the lining also. You can see how it's looking like. Now coming to the back piece, I've also cut out lining for the back pieces. Okay, so this is what we are having. Now I'm going to place the lining on the right side of the fabric, and I'm going to stitch it up. Okay, at the top, at the zip area, at the side, but the bottom part will be left open. So that is where I'm going to be turning it out from. So guys, this is going to be the rope, and this is the straps. Okay, so I have the straps, I have the rope. So I will just go ahead now and start stitching. Okay, so like I said earlier, I'm going to top stitch. Then after top stitching on this cup, I'm going to go ahead and stitch up this center front like this, and also at the top I'm going to stitch it up. So I'm going to just create my casing. So I'm going to just gather it up at the bottom part of the cup area. So after doing that, guys, this is what we are having. You can see how it's looking, guys. I've gone ahead to create the casing at the top, and I folded the center front and also the gathers. You can see it right here. Okay, so now I'm going to get the midpoint. Just go ahead and fold in this cup like this into two. Just get the midpoint like so and notch it. So after doing this, guys, so if you have not seen the cutting process of this pattern, please go ahead and check it out so that you understand everything we are doing right here. Okay, so this is not the actual cup we cut out on our drafting pattern. We actually made use of slash and spread method. Okay, so just go ahead and watch it out. So after doing that, coming to the corset area, I'm going to just fold it into two, and I'm going to measure from the center front all the way inside by 3.5 inches. That is going to be my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. Okay, so go ahead and measure out yours. Then after doing that, that notch part at the cup, I'm going to just place it on that point, that 3.5 inches. I've already marked it on the right side, so just place it like this, right side facing. I'm stitching it all the way to the side, and after that I'll stitch it all the way to the center front. So at the center front, you can go ahead and lap it like this. Go ahead and lap the cups together, or you can just sew them separately. You can just separate them. Okay, for me, I'm going to lap the both cup together. Okay, like so. So before stitching the cup area to the corset, I'm going to insert my rope into the casing I created at the top. Okay, for the rope casing. So you can see what I'm doing right now. So this is what the rope is looking like. You can see I used my safety pin in doing this. So go ahead and insert your rope in it. At this point, you have to do it carefully so that the rope will not go all the way through to the casing. Okay, so when you get to the other point, you are going to secure that part with your pin. So your pin is going to be your best friend on this tutorial. So we are just going to be working with our pin on this tutorial. Okay, so after pinning it, the next thing is to just stitch it up on the main corset. So after doing that, guys, this is what we are having. You can see how the both cups are looking, and this is the center front, guys. You can see how this part is also looking like. So when I turn it to the wrong side, the inside, you can see how it's looking. You can see my lining right there and the rough edges. I'm going to just place the lining of the corset part like this on top of the cup, and I'm going to just stitch it up to close up the rough edges at that part. Okay, so like I said earlier, you're going to be working with your pin, so just go ahead and pin it up at this center point. You can see that center point, so just watch the way I'm doing it, guys. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. So guys, after pinning it down, I'm going to just flip it all the way like this, and you can see how neat now it's looking like. You can see the lining is able to close up the rough edges we have at that part. So I'm going to take it all the way to the other side of the cup, and I'm also going to be pinning up that rough edges at that part. Okay, so with the lining and the cup area. So let me just quickly do this. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. So guys, after pinning, the next thing to do now is to take to your stitching machine and stitch it down, okay, at that part. Then after that, push in the cup inside like this, and you are going to be stitching up the side and that open part at the top. So you can see the open part at that part. You're going to just stitch it up, push the cup inside so you don't stitch on the cup. Then you stitch up the side by 1/2 inch. Then you take it to the other side, you do the same, push in the cup and stitch up the top parts and also the side. The bottom part should be left open. Okay, now coming to the back area, guys, I'm gonna have to turn it out with my lining, and the next thing to do is to place them on each other like so and stitch it down at the zip area with your loose stitch. Then you are going to create your dart at that part. So guys, after stitching, this is what the corset now is looking like. You can see how beautiful it's looking with my double lining I have there, and I've also gone ahead to join the front and the back together with my body shape. So just go ahead and do the same. Okay, go ahead and shape the side with your body shapes. Okay, so after doing that, guys, the next thing now I'm going to do is to fold this into two like this so that we can cut out the excess at the bottom part. I'm going to place 13 inches as my under bust measurement because 13 inches is my under bust measurement. So just place 13 inches on your under bust length, place it there and take your actual half length. Okay, then you cut out the excess. So don't forget to add 1/2 inch for the stitching allowance with your half length. So this is it, guys. Just cut out the excess. After cutting out the excess, guys, the next thing now is to trim off the back area. So go ahead and fold your fabric like this into two. Make sure the seams match up together. Then after doing that, guys, the next thing now to do is to go up by 1 inch at the zip area, as you can see me doing like this. So after doing that, you are going to slant it over to the side of the dress. You can see, just make a slant line towards the side like this. Then you go ahead and cut it out. After cutting, guys, you can see what we are having. See how that part now is looking slanted. Okay, So the next thing is to open this up at the zip area. Now go ahead and attach the bottom part. To get the bottom part, what you are going to do is to subtract your half length from your gown length. Then whatsoever you have as a gown length, you are going to subtract about 7 inches, which is going to be the second layer. So whatsoever you have left is going to be the upper layer. I hope you understand, because it has 2 layers. At the upper layer, you can cut it as a flare, or you can just do it the way I'm doing mine, because my fabric was not enough to cut out a flare. So I have to make use of what I have. So I went ahead to gather up the upper layer, as you can see what I'm doing. So after that, you just pin it up like this. Look for the midpoint of the top part and look for the midpoint of the bottom part and attach everything together. For the second layer, I decided to use a black fabric to extend the length of my gown, because the second layer was a little bit shorter than what I want the gown length to be. So I decided to use a black fabric. I've also gone ahead to gather up the second layer, and I'm going to be attaching it right there. So guys, after stitching it down, this is what the right side of the dress is looking like. You can see how it's looking. So I went ahead to take away every excess thread I have there. So like I said earlier, I later removed the second layer and I added a black fabric at that part, because the second layer was a little bit shorter than what I wanted for this blouse. Okay, so I went ahead to use a black doll face for the second layer of the dress. So go ahead and add your lining if you choose to add your lining. So I'm going to add lining inside, okay, to cover all the rough edges at that part. Then I'm also going to attach the zipper at that part. After doing that, the next thing is to add my strap. While we were drafting out this pattern, I gave you guys a clue on how to get the length of the strap, okay? So I will still explain it again. The length of the strap I cut out was 15 inches. So 6.5 at the front, 7.5 at the back. Then I added 1 inch stitching allowance to it, so making 15 inches, okay? So I'm going to just place it at the front like so. Then after that, I'm going to place the other side at the back. From the side of the front, I went in by 1 inch to attach it at the front, okay, to attach the strap at the front. Then coming to the back, from the side I went in by 3.5 inches, so you can go in by 4 inches depending on what you want, okay? So after doing that, guys, I will go ahead and stitch up the strap, and I will come and show you guys what the final result is looking like. And if you are yet to subscribe, guys, don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, like and share this video, and also remember to turn on your notification bell so that when I post a new video, you will be the first to be notified. Thank you to my new and my returning subscribers. Bye.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind.